Hello, everybody! Woo! I love the sound of fake studio clapping that was added in during post-production. Yeah! Welcome to the second episode of Let's Sarcasm. If you enjoyed the first episode, then you're going to love this one. If you didn't, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I think you should enjoy this one as well. Today's topic is planes, trains, and whatever else moves. So, as the title states, we'll be starting out talking about planes. Do you ever wonder why they only give you flotation devices and life rafts on an airplane? All of my travels to date have remained in the US and usually only fly over land, not water. I don't want a life raft, I want a parachute, because you better believe that if my plane is going down, I will be the first one out that door. If they won't give us parachutes, then why can't they just attach a few large ones to the top of the plane so if it does start to go down, the parachute will open up and allow for a much gentler landing? They already use parachutes to help land space shuttles, so why can't they be used to help prevent plane crashes as well? Even if the plane is going to crash into the water, in which case you will need a life raft or vest, the parachute would at least ensure that more people will survive. For, in order to use the life vest in the first place, the passengers must first survive the landing. I'll tell ya, teleportation cannot get here soon enough. That way you won't have to deal with the tedious airport security, the annoying kid, or more times than not, the rude adult who won't stop kicking the back of your seat, the crying baby, and the hot coffee that you just spilled on yourself because your tray table had to be in the upright and locked position. Do they really need to tell us to put our own oxygen mask on before helping others? You need to be able to breathe in order to help someone else put on their mask, and you better believe that I'm putting on my own mask before helping anyone who can't figure out how to put a strap around their head. Come on, survival of the fittest at this point. Now on to trains. Trains are really cool, but they're also loud, noisy, and slow compared to other forms of transportation. Moving on. Loud and noisy are both the same thing. Cars. Now, bear with me on this one. It's going to be a wild ride, pun intended, LOL. We all know that there are different classes of driver's licenses for those people who get certified to drive more than just cars, such as semi-trucks and RVs. So, I want to know why there can't be a driving test that will allow you to go above the posted speed limit. There could be 2 speed limit signs, one for normal drivers and one for expert drivers. This would be on most roads and highways with the exception of residential areas, of course. Basically, when you go to the DMV to get your license, you would be able to opt into the expert driving program, where you could take the speed test on a few courses, which, if you pass, would certify that you can drive at the expert speed limit. This would give you a Class F or fast driver's license, and you would have a license plate that would allow the cops to know that you can drive at that speed limit. I'll just let the idea sit with you for a while. I promise that you will want this to be implemented, although based on the current congressional timetable, it might take a couple of years to get passed, or decades. Speaking of speed, what's with the drivers who go below the speed limit and slow down to get onto a highway? I'm sorry, but last time I checked, the on-ramp for a highway was for speeding up to highway speeds so you can merge safely, not going 40 miles per hour and then stopping to get on. There needs to be a minimum speed necessary to get on and stay on the highway, with the exception of rainy days, of course. And if you can't match that speed, well then you'll just be taken out with a drone. Also, I'm tired of all the stupid dyslexic drivers out there that see 65 miles per hour as 56. I don't mind if you go speed limit, but please don't disrupt the flow of traffic by going 30 on a 45 mile per hour street. I'm talking about you, Grandma. Have you ever thought that the walls on the sides of overpasses need to be just a little bit higher? Because the only thing that I can think about when I'm driving on one of those is that if I hit that wall, I'm going to flip over the side of the highway and land on the highway below. And if I'm not already dead from the initial impact, then I sure will be once the cars start to hit me. The last thing they were suspecting was for it to be raining cars that day. The poor car had no idea what hit him. While we're on the topic of hitting someone, let's talk about motorcycles for a sec. For the most part, motorcyclists are normal people who want to get from point A to point B like the rest of us. However, there are those few special idiots out there we all come across. You know, the ones that drive between 2 cars down the white lines during a traffic jam without a helmet on, might I add. Let me just say one thing. All it would take is one swift opening of my door and then BAM! Motorcycle pancake. Did anyone order a motorcycle omelet sunny side down? You know what I want? I would like to have an LCD screen on the front and back of my car so I can say things to other drivers. I would have a button for everything. If anyone cuts me off, I'll just press the middle finger button, which will kindly flick them off using the front LCD. I'll have a speed up asshole button that will also be displayed on the front, and a do you mind backing off button for the rear LCD for the person who drives up your tailpipe while you are already going 5 miles over the speed limit and refuses to pass you. I think somebody needs to tell the person who writes the words on the road that we don't read backwards from bottom to top. I'll be on the highway and read the exit only thing on the road as only exit, and I'll get scared. Seriously, we don't read from bottom to top. When I was up in Ohio a couple of years back, my dad and I were driving around an auto mall when we saw something that just didn't look quite right. So I took a picture. All I can say about this picture is, what the hell? I don't even know how to begin to explain this. Hey honey, can you take out the trash? Oh, and don't forget the cars while you're at it. Let's see how many of these we can come up with. America, a place where everything is disposable. Hey Johnny, did you want to go dumpster diving with cars? I don't think that's the best place to hide the getaway car. Please leave your sarcastic captions in the comments section below. I think gas pumps need to have a built-in radar. That way they know when to ask me whether or not I want a car wash. If I'm filling up in the middle of a monsoon, I don't want the gas pump to even prompt me with an option to get a car wash or not. Because when it does, I'm just going to be standing there giving the gas pump a sarcastic glance of derision like, come on, really? Now it's time for a new segment that I'm calling Random Rants. And because I used alliteration, the segment now seems more official and catchy. Ha! You see, Miss Beggs? I used one of our lit terms. And I thought I'd never use one of those words from AP Literature again. Now on to the rant. No-tear shampoo. Yeah, right. No-tear shampoo is like saying they invented a no-tears knife. Now with a blade that won't hurt you when you accidentally stab or cut yourself. I can see the TV commercials already. The sarcastic quote for today's episode is, when you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Albert Einstein. Well, that's all for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and like, or dislike if you're rude and think you can do better. Please leave your sarcastic comments below, and one of them might make the next episode as a sarcastic quote. I'm Alex Moore, and that's the way the banana peels.